Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife review for you. Today, we have the Benchmade 486 Saibu. Very cool new little knife from Benchmade. I admit, when I first saw it, though, I was not completely blown away. I thought it was just looked like kind of like a fancy pants bug out. Then I looked at the stats, and I saw, oh no, this is quite a bit smaller than a bug out, and it is. Let me have a bug out right here. Let me show you. It's quite a bit smaller than the bug out, and that kind of intrigued me. And I thought, it's $212. That's still a lot of money. Then I saw it's 20 CV. Seiichi Nakamura, collaborative design. This is not the first one they have done. I'm sure it won't be the last. I have been intrigued by some of his other ones. So I thought, I guess it's time to get a Nakamura and check this out. So I got my hands on one, and yeah, it's pretty cool, I will say. It is definitely a small knife, less than 3-inch blade. Let's do the stats so you can see how small this thing is. We have an overall length of just 6.75 inches, about 6 3/4. You have a blade length of just under 3 inches, 2.97, I guess is about what I would measure on my calipers. Blade thickness of 0.11 inches, and it's pretty thin behind the edge. I got it about 20 thousandths. That's a measurement I always qualify as really hard to take, but I got about 20 thousandths behind the edge, so pretty thin behind the edge. Pretty slicey little knife. As I said, 20 CV steel. And you have a handle thickness of 0.48 inches, so not a thin handle knife by any means, but still pretty thin. And you have a weight of just 2.7 ounces. Actually, it came down to 2.65 on mine. 2.7 is what Benchmade claims, but I actually get it smaller than that. And as you can see, the height on this is just a skosh over an inch, inch and a quarter, something like that. Very, 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 very small little knife. Let's do some more size comparisons to show you. First of all, we will compare it to your Spyderco Delica. Smaller than a Delica. Blade, especially usable blade, is about the same, if not more, but the handle is a little shorter. What else we got? The Ontario Rat Model 2. Another little 3-inch knife. Looking at a pretty similar size to a Rat Model 2, actually. Quite similar. You guys have all seen Rat Model 2s. One of the best comparison knives there is for us YouTubers. And then we will do it against an old standard Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Obviously going to be much larger, but a lot of you guys have PM2s or have seen them, so you get an idea of how small it is. Oh, and last but not least, just because it's out here, because it's the last knife I reviewed, and it's so hot right now, a Kaiser Vanguard Mini Sheepdog. So it's actually not dramatically longer than a mini sheepdog. You know, line them up there. I'm not trying to line them up by the pivot. All right, let's get into this knife specifically. First of all, let's talk about the looks of it. Wow, I really do like it. I was a bit unsure about these Cocobolo inserts. It's got Cocobolo inserts here on the very, very hollowed out scales, which I kind of like the look of that. I don't know if everybody else likes it or not. Let me mute my computer here because I'm a popular guy today. Yeah, I like these little Cocobolo inserts. I think they look great. And they're on the thumb stud too. Isn't that cool? I think that's just awesome. I like all the holes in the scales, and they go right through the liners and everything. I think it looks pretty cool. It's an American made knife, and there's some Americanized touches, but it does look very Japanese. I love the look of this G10. Looks almost kind of carbon fibery. I really, really do like it. It's a very, very pretty thing to behold. And like the more you look at it, the more you're kind of into it, you know? It's just, you find more details. This bamboo style back spacer is just beautiful. This is just a gorgeous, gorgeous knife. I like how the other side of the pivot and the other side of these back screws are like these little convex things. I like the silver on the axis lock. It's just got so many little things to it. As far as quality goes, I know it's Benchmade, and people always complain about Benchmade's quality control. I've said before, I've been lucky, and I was lucky again. I ordered this. I didn't get to handle one in person first. Have not touched it. Blade centering's perfect. The grind is really good. It's perfectly even. Those are the main things we kind of notice on what Benchmade gets crap about quality for, is the grind and the centering. It's fine. There's no blade play whatsoever. And again, I've done absolutely nothing to this. It was a bit stiff out of the box. I flicked it 10 or 15, 20 times and it loosened right up. I have not torn apart and oiled it. Probably won't unless I have to. I do not enjoy taking apart access locks. They are a bit sweary. They're not difficult. It's just you always feel like you need one more hand at some points, and I just don't take them apart unless I absolutely have to. But overall, I really do like the look of this design. I'm kind of baffled by this lanyard hole because I'm not a lanyard guy, so I don't know, but it looks kind of useless to me. I kind of wish it just wasn't even there. That's the minorest of complaints. And Benchmade's, I never complain about them having extra holes for left-hand carry because the access lock is so ambidextrous. And my son is a lefty, so I sympathize. So even though this isn't the prettiest thing on the show side to have this little hump and these 3 holes here, this is a very ambidextrous knife, so I completely get why they would do that. A lefty would love this thing. It looks really, really great. I actually tried to convince my son that he wanted one for his graduation, and he chose something completely different, but whatever. They can't be smart all the time. But yeah, I do like the looks of it. I think the quality is good. And as I've always said with Benchmade, if you do have something minorly wrong with it, send it away. They'll fix it. No questions asked. I even went to REI there. They had a garage sale, and I was going to try and... I'm sure they had some Benchmades returned for blade centering issues and stuff, and I was like, if I can get a good deal on one, I'll just buy it and send it back and have Benchmade fix it. But the line was long, and I'm an old man, so I didn't even go in. But yeah, I don't hesitate to send stuff into Benchmade. I've never had to send a whole knife in, but I've had to ask for parts. They always send stuff immediately. Great warranty, so yeah, looks good, good quality. I've gone on for too long about that. Let's talk more about this knife design. The blade, really good, 20 CV, as I've said multiple times already. Can't go wrong with that. It's a very good solid steel. It's basically American M390, and the shape of it, I love the shape. Lots of flat, little bit of belly. People have pointed out it looks kind of like the Ontario Rat 2 blade, and it kind of does. The blade shape is very similar. It's a little bit smaller, but it does look very similar. But a lot of knives look pretty similar to that, so I think some people were saying it in a derogatory manner. I'm not going to say it in a derogatory manner. It's a pretty common blade shape. It's not really something that is revolutionary or anything. But yeah, it works really, really well. I like the satin on it. Looks great. It is a pretty good slicer. It's not like a crazy awesome slicer, but it's a little knife. It's not meant to be. It's really good though. It's very sharp out of the box. We had a really good edge on it. I'm very happy with it. And I've actually done quite a bit of cutting with it the last couple days, and it's been pretty good. I had it in my pocket in some unexpected situations where I had to cut a lot of stuff, and it handled it very, very well. I like it. Ergonomically, also pretty good. If you guys go back and watch any of my stuff about the Mini Griptilian, that never really quite fit my hands right, and that was a concern I had with this. I thought this might just be a catch and release because I didn't think it was probably going to hit my hands right, but it does. It barely fits, but it fits. And in a small knife like this, that's good enough, in my opinion. Small knives, I don't expect to always fit perfectly. I've got just that little bit sticking out down there. You can choke up a little bit. This is kind of how I usually hold it with my thumb on the blade. I mean, you can hold it like that, but I'm usually using it like this. And it fits perfectly fine. No hot spots. It does have all these holes. You think maybe those might be hot spots, but no, not really. I mean, yeah, you can feel that they're there, but I wouldn't call them hot spots or anything. I guess there's a little bit of one back here on this deep carry pocket clip. Right there, it does jab in just a smidge, but not enough to really bother me. I think it's all right. And as you can see, it fits my hand just as well as the Rat 2 does. I mean, the Rat 2, I'm almost exactly the same way. So, yeah, I think the Rat 2 maybe is a little bit more comfortable ergonomically, but not dramatically so. Very, very comfortable knife in the hand, and yeah, and the blade's good. So what do we have left coming up? We got carry, and it carries awesome. 2.7 ounces, under 3 ounces. Nice deep carry, little stubby pocket clip. You don't need a pocket clip any longer than this on a knife like this. Drops in the pocket really well. It's very easy to get your hand by, obviously, because it's not very tall at all, and there's no flipper tab sticking out or anything. It's almost a fifth pocket knife. Some of my pants, I can put it in that fifth pocket, and it fits perfectly. Some of them, it only sinks down to like here. It still sinks down enough to put it in there, but it doesn't fully seat. So, but it's almost a fifth pocket knife. Some of my pants, I've carried it that way. I actually carried it the other day with when I went to aforementioned REI. This was my pairing, because I usually carry 2 knives, and it worked well for that. In the 5th pocket of those jeans, because I usually carry one in my main pocket, one in my 5th pocket, and it worked well for that, but it's not going to fit in the 5th pocket of every pair of pants, because it is a full 3-inch blade, and you've got a 3.8-inch handle length, so it's barely the right size for that, but it does fit in some. Carries well otherwise, though. In your main pocket, carries awesomely. Deployment, it's an axis lock, and it works like one. It drops free, flick it open. It's also got the thumb studs that work very well. I will say it's not a hindrance at all, but compared to, say, I guess since I have it here, the bug out, there is kind of, when you release the axis lock, there's just some kind of, you do have to give it a bit more flick to get it going. I think it's just a physics geometry thing with the way that it is. It's not a big deal, and it's the lighter blade probably, but like the bug out, you don't have to give it nearly as much flick, and it just pops right open. But I think it's just the geometry of the pivot, you know, location and that kind of stuff. But other than that, super smooth as you'd expect from an axis lock. Very fun to play with. Yeah. So what is my conclusion on this thing? I really like it. I think it's one of Benchmade's best designs yet. At $212, is it a screaming value? No, but it's not ridiculous. You've got Cocobolo inlays, all this machine work, 20 CV steel. I can see why it's definitely worth the $212. I don't think it's worth more than that, but as far as Benchmade's have a tendency, some are pretty overpriced. This is not. I don't think this is overpriced at all. If it was $250, I would probably say it was overpriced. But at $212, I think that's about right. I think it's just about right. It's not a value, but it's just about right. You do get the awesome Benchmade warranty. It's beautiful to look at, and the more you look at it, the more you find little details you like, and it's just fun to play with. It's an axis lock, so they're always fun. That's always a big thing to me. How much fun is it? Because, you know, this is a hobby for a lot of us. We use them, but we still want to be fun to use. This is very fun to use. And, yeah, it's at 20 CV steel. The blade shape's really good. It's very useful. I really do like this knife. I think it's going to be a big hit for Benchmade. If you're looking for a classy small knife, you could carry this as a gentleman's folder, definitely. It's probably almost even what they intend for it to be, because it is just schmancy. You take it out, people are going to be blown away by the looks of it. It looks very expensive and very cool, and when you can just roll it open if you want to and not intimidate anyone. It's a really well-designed gentleman's knife and a very well-designed, just pretty EDC. If you just want a damn handsome EDC, this is it. And if you're like me and you're really into Japanese stuff, you know, it's got Japanese writing on it and stuff, so many things to love about this knife. Yeah, there is a lot of billboarding, but some of this is because this is first production. So this is first production. I don't even know what number it is because I don't care. 530 out of 1200. So first production's 1200. You know they're going to make a lot of these. I think that's about what the first production of the 20 CV mini grip was. So that kind of indicates to me Benchmade's planning on making a lot of these, and they probably should. Benchmade thinks that first production label is going to stop me from using this. They are sorely mistaken. This is not a knife I'm concerned about resale value with. I'm gonna use the hell out of it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Expect to see a lot more of this knife on the channel. It's definitely going in the permanent collection. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed playing with this knife for the last few days. I've been Brian. Have a good one.